All right. Hey, what's up? It's the Mo Radio Show. It is the first time I'm doing this, but I love this program. And, well, in times of quarantine where we can't be around anybody, at least 6 feet, I love how when you go to the stores, it's X's everywhere. It's almost like, I don't know, Wizard of Oz and Follow the Yellow Brick Road, where it's an X and it's telling you where to stand. And by the way, nobody's following this social distancing anyway. Let's be honest. If you've seen the local Walmarts or whatever, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. The coronavirus. I obviously haven't been on for a while. For those of you who don't know what's going on with me, I'm doing a morning show on ESPN 970. It's out in like the Ashtabula and Erie, PA, and kind of Youngstown, East Cleveland kind of area. So I've been doing that, but because of the coronavirus, well, I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm just chilling like everybody else. And yeah, I've been wanting to do this, get on this new program, which I thought was pretty cool. And as I was thinking about it, I said, you drive around. We're living in some really. I was talking to my father today. Just bizarre times. It's bizarre. We've never lived like anything like this before. And you're driving around and you're seeing all the businesses closed. I mean, you're not allowed anywhere except for like essential workers, which is gas station employees and things like that. But for anything else, I mean, car dealerships closed. I was thinking about as dumb as this was. It's like nice outside. I was thinking of buying a new pair of shoes. Guess what? Famous Footwear closed. Everything is closed. And not that I'll get into all of this at some point, but it's this is it's killing people. It's killing people. People's livelihood. When you think about all the people that depend on business, that depend on people walking into their stores, walking into their restaurants. I mean, think about all the bars around the area, all of the restaurants, all the people that were your servers. They're not making a dime now. And then, of course, there's business owners and everything else. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of do a business kind of spotlight, local spotlight on people. And I threw it out on Facebook and I said, listen, if you want to come on this format, tell me about your business. Tell me about how you're dealing with this coronavirus, what people could do to help. I thought it might be be honest with you. I know many people don't think I do nice things, but a nice thing to do. I still have, the radio platform. I still have a lot of people that remember me from, the Canton radio days, have a lot of followers on Facebook and whatnot. So I figured I was going to go ahead and do this. And I've had a lot of people get a hold of me. So I got somebody on. Like I said, I want to make sure this works. But Shauna Graham is her name. And there you. Well, hello, Shauna. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I can't hear you. Oh, there you go. It's better now. I heard you. Yeah, you might
Okay.
want to get a little closer. All right. How are you doing?
Hanging in there. How about you?
I'm doing all right. So you were one of the first people that kind of reached out to me, and you own a salon, nails, spa business. If you want to tell us a little bit about your business, where it is, and kind of what you do.
Okay, so I opened up April 15th, 2008. Just a salon with hair and nails and tanning. I was 23 years old. Opened up a huge 2,400 square foot salon. It's in North Jackson, which people sometimes mistake it for Jackson Maslin. It's not. It's North Jackson, which is by Lake Mountain and Lordstown,
Okay.
south of Lordstown, east of Lake Mountain. Um, One stoplight town, so there's not much there. April 15th of this year will be 12 years that we've been open. I have 9 people underneath me. Everybody's an independent contractor. So, like you said, none of us are making a dime. We don't get unemployment. We don't get FEMA help, SVA. We have to apply for loans if we want anything. We don't get any kind of grants, things like that. Those are for only for people that have employees. They want to make sure employees are still employed after this. They really don't say too much about the independent contractors. But like I said, there's 9 of us there, including myself. One nail tech, one barber, rest are hairdressers. We do hair, makeup, updos, extensions. Um, we range from 50, 55 years old to 20 years old. We have a high range. We're a family there. We spend anywhere between 30 to 60 hours a week behind our chair.
Here's a question about how good are you at testing. Can you make me look pretty?
Oh yeah.
Can you do that? Well, there you go, people. If you can make me look pretty, then all right. Then I believe in your product and what you're doing over there. Absolutely.
I have my license for 18 years. So
do you have guys come in there? Do guys come in and get stuff done too?
Oh yeah.
Do they? Like what?
At one point in time, I had a lot more guy clientele than I do women clientele, but now that's kind of filtered out a little bit. But a lot of my guys used to come in and get colors. They would get colors and cuts and get their nails done and their feet done. So we used to have a high male clientele. It's not so much anymore since GM shut down because we are 8 minutes from GM. So half of our clientele has left.
Wow.
So, and those are the people we kind of depended on. Those were our every 3 week women's colors. There were our every 2 to 3 week men's haircuts. Every 4 week, the men would come in and get their feet done. Because we had like.
See, I've thought about doing that forever with the pedicure. And I hear it's fantastic. I'm not secure enough to do it. And my feet are all right. I just feel like I look weird. Like I'm there, my feet are propped up, and I got somebody. I don't know, man. It's a goofy situation for me. It really is. I've always wanted to do it, but I'm kind of like I'm weirded out by it. I feel like it's not. I feel like it's feminine for some reason.
Well, that's why another one of our thoughts. Since we've been off, we've been going through a ton of thoughts and like ways of changing. We have another room that we can put a pedicure unit inside of that room. So if more men want to come, it'll be a confined area for you guys.
Right. Just for the dudes, like a put some sports on the TV or whatever. You maybe feel a little less feminine getting that done.
Right.
I hear it's good. I don't know.
It's amazing. Believe me, all of our women that work with us, all their dudes get their pedicures done, get their nails done. Of course, sometimes we do them at home, but
right. All right, so getting back to your business and everything and this coronavirus, I can't imagine what this has got to be doing to you financially. I can't imagine what it's doing for your employees. That's another thing. I was thinking about like barber shops. You can't go anywhere. And I'll be honest, man, nobody knows when this is going to end. Nobody has any idea. Bill Gates is saying, another 3 months is what we should do. I was listening to radio. Guy said you could be quarantined for a year. I mean, nobody really knows what the hell's going on with this. And for somebody like you, how is this? I mean, I know it's maybe a dumb question, I guess, but just to make people understand, how bad is this for you and how are you dealing with it?
As of right now, in order to make a little bit of income, I took all my retail off my shelves. I have a special group away from, I have New Style Salon and Barbering Facebook group. And then I have another group called the New Styles Gala. And that is what I made up when they shut us down. That is for people that are our clients that are interested, that we love as family. They want to follow us. They want to help us. So I took every single retail product off my shelves and I brought it home.
All right.
So in return, they get a discount rate. So instead of paying full price that they would on my shelves, I go, you buy 2, you get 20, you buy 3, you get 30, and it stops at 40. You buy 4 or more, you get 40% off. And that's how I've been trying to pay my electric and my gas. And they still charge you a water fee, even though if you're not using water. And thank God my landlord has been really, really good with me so far. I don't know what the outcome with him is going to be, but right now he's allowing me to not pay my rent.
Right.
But it's killing all of us. I mean, this was our sole income. All of us there, this was our sole income. Half of the girls that work for me are married. The other half, they have significant others, but they're furlonged too. And then there's 2 or 3 of us that we're single parents.
Right.
We don't have a second income. So, there goes out our window and trying to pay for that and pay for a house and still get the things done that the kids need to be done and try to be safe at the same time because they got you damn near scared.
Well, yeah. It's almost to the point where I'm never at a loss for words. I really am not. And
right.
And and you sit and talk to people about this. Like I mentioned, I was having a conversation with my dad, and we're both just like, it's just bizarre. I mean, this is something like it's out of a movie. Like it is. It's out of Outbreak. It's out of a movie. And how it is just affecting. I'll tell you what, man, and you're a testament to this. You could, the virus isn't what's going to really screw things up. This economy, right? What is going to happen with this economy right now? I don't know how. I mean, we listen. We'll persevere. We'll figure it out, but it's going to take a long time. This is killing the economy right now.
And what's really funny is every time I go to talk about it, I mean, it's not funny, it's just a coincidence, but you go back to Outbreak. That's what I keep on telling everybody.
Yeah.
I go back to Outbreak. I go back to that freaking monkey with the virus that gives it to that one child, and she passes it around the whole community.
That's how it happens.
It's like you have to find that host to get it under control. And in the meantime, you hear some doctors say, if you go with a zinc and a vitamin D and some tonic water,
Right.
and you can prevent your body. And then you get some doctors that are going to say, we're going to lose half of our population in the United States before it's done.
Right. It seems to be, and not that we want to dwell on the virus itself, but it seems to be if you have pre-existing conditions, and diabetes, or I was reading an article about lupus today, or you're older or whatever, it seems to be. Yeah, exactly. Look at lupus, like I said, autoimmune, something like that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know where the end is. I don't know how you end this, because if we know anything about the flu, it morphs. It morphs. It'll build up. That's why there's a new flu shot every year, because that's what they do. And if this thing does that, I mean, listen, I sit here and I kid. I was kidding about it when it first happened on the air. I was on the radio, and I'm like, oh, well, coronavirus. Well, whatever. If you get it, you get it, you get it. And then, like, later on that day, it was like my boss calls. He goes, yeah, no more on the air. We only have one person in the whole station. Like, nobody's there. One person, that's it. Then it's like they shut down the NBA. And at that point, I started thinking, because there was all the riffraff before about, it was a political thing. It was a this, it was a that, or whatever. And I never really bought that. I lived through it like you did, with the SARS, and then there was H1N1, and it did seem like everybody blew everything out of proportion, right?
And, the E. coli and
all that stuff, so everybody was blowing
viruses since 2000. We've lived through
14 right. Yeah, so
exactly. I'm myself, like, what's this one any different than what's going on now, except for those ones? I mean, we went through anthrax. We went through stuff that when you actually it killed you on the spot.
Right.
And I all of a sudden we get shut down over this is what I don't understand.
It was at that point when I realized, and I said, this is real.
Right.
When it started costing billions, when the NBA shuts down, I'm like, all right, well, this is real now. And then it's like, we're closing all the bars. We're closing all the restaurants. And I'm like, are we really, like, is this martial law? What is happening? I'll tell you something weird, just on a quick side note. Pay attention to electric workers. I have seen more people working on electric poles this past 2 or 3 weeks than I've ever seen in my life. It's making me consider, again, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, or I'm
a huge conspiracy theorist. So
I'm trying to keep my eyes open. Pay attention to that. There's so many people working on electrical poles, and I'm like, installing cameras. I was driving through, was it like Kent yesterday or something? It was at nighttime, and police cars now have the big spotlights, looking on the streets for people, like it is a curfew martial law situation. Right.
And there's some towns down here that have put curfew into effect.
Yeah, exactly. I got some people writing questions in. Sean, good friend of mine, he used to work at Mix 94.1, if you ever listened in the area. Sean Powers. He goes, small business loans are going out like water these days. He goes, Sean, have you tried to apply for those?
Yeah, I've tried. They only exist for people that have employees.
Right. All right.
I have all independent contractors. I don't have not one employee. Wow. So that $10,000 I don't know how to put it, but forgettable $10,000 SBA grant that goes to businesses that have employees. That FEMA help that goes to businesses that have employees. I've tried unemployment. They say you don't pay into unemployment. I'm like, what the hell? I file taxes every year. So what's that mean? I don't fall on unemployment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't pay taxes every week, but I still pay, I still file, I still, what happens to all the taxes that I pay on my products, on my color, on my stations, on every delivery, I pay taxes on every single thing that we do there.
Right.
So how are you supposed to tell me that we're not granted unemployment?
Right. Yeah. I don't know, man.
But
I don't know.
I've tried the banks. And it's hard to get into somebody right now because they're not actually in the bank. You have to call them and they make an appointment and then they come into the bank. So I have contacted the Huntington farmers and things like that. And they're just basically telling me that I don't have proof of employees. I'm a sole proprietor basically on my own. So there's no SBAs that's going to help me.
It says, can't you claim yourself as an employee or no?
No,
Like, do
because
you,
I take a paycheck.
because what?
I don't take a paycheck.
You don't take a paycheck. So you're not an employee.
No, I'm a
Oh,
sole proprietor.
oh, wow.
I'm an
Yeah.
LLC.
I'm wondering, I should have had my dad out with this because my dad owns a drywall. He's a drywall contractor, but I do believe he does take a paycheck. So
Yeah,
he is
you
also an
can.
employee, but he is an LLC as well.
Yeah, you can take a paycheck. But at the end of the day, I don't make enough money to take a paycheck, and because I'm still gonna at the end of the year, it's just not worth it.
Right.
Until it comes down to something like this. Who would have thought something like this would make you think to put yourself on payroll?
It's I bet you do now. I mean, after all this, I bet you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it like that, but if you make it, because I mean, how long can you go? Do you think? How long do you have? Do you think?
I was planning on building a home, so I have a little bit I call my zombie fund.
Right.
My
Yeah, exactly.
zombie
Literally.
apocalypse fund.
Right. Literally.
Literally, yeah. So, I mean, I've been digging into that a little bit. I guess my building on my house is gonna have to wait. Uh, I if my landlord allows me to go the 3 months without paying rent and I can start up where I left off without getting hit with the 3 months of rent, I could probably go until July 1st. After July 1st, I'm gonna have to sit down and really question what's going to happen here because they shut us down March 18th.
Yeah. Wow.
And I do every bit of just myself between 8 and 15 clients a day. I work 12, 14-hour days most of the time 8 to 10, but I can push 12 or 14. Like I said, I've been doing 18 years. I have a hell of a following and I love every bit of every one of my clients. They've been awesome with me trying to get like my retail off my shelves and trying to get me that extra money. I've had donations. The drive-through that's next door to the salon, they've been selling a lot of my hoodies and shirts for me, and people come in and just give me donations to keep my doors open. Random anonymous people, which I'm grateful for.
Right.
But still, like just that bit of money, I'm still looking at like July 1st before I would have to say I'm gonna have to go work for somebody.
Now, if people are buying your products, how are you able to get it out to them? You able to go through the mail or?
Yeah, I can ship them out or I meet them and they can pick it up and we do the whole like I drop it off, I
Right.
walk away, they come up and grab it and kind of like, okay, drug deal gone bad, kind of looks really,
Right.
really bad.
Exactly.
Setting a bag out in the middle of the parking lot and walking away
Well,
from it.
dude, I went through Burger King the other day, and everybody's in a. It's so weird to even go out. Everybody's in a mask, and it's like they're not touching anything. They actually have the platter thing that they put the food on. They hand it to you. They hand it whatever, and I'm like, this is. I'm going. This is insane.
I've
This is
actually seen
insane.
somebody actually take one of those claws
Uh huh.
and
All
just
right.
window. I'm
Good
like,
God.
whoa, with gloves on.
Right.
Take the claw with gloves on and hand you out the window. I was like, whoa.
Sean writes in again. He goes, "What do you need right now? Like, what can help you instantly right now? Obviously, people buying merchandise. How would they go ahead and buy that? And buy that? Listen, man, this is still beauty products. You still want to look pretty. I mean, if you might as well have some fun if you got the husband at home or whatever, and get dolled up and whatnot. You know what I mean? So
Right. So right now, if there's a gala, like I said, the New Styles Gala. Go on there and you can join the group. And I try to do a live feed like we're doing now. I'm trying to do a live feed at least once or twice a week, and I kind of give more deals or more package deals. Just the other day I went on there. If you go on there and you um, gain access to it, you'll see I jumped off the bike with my mom. We went bike riding. I need to go free my
Right.
head for a minute, so I jumped on the
Right.
back of the bike with my mom, and I came back, and I my nail tech made up a really good kit for people that have gel nails and acrylic nails that can't keep
Okay.
them up. So I have a kit like that we've been selling. I'm just, like I said, right now my retail is kind of keeping me afloat. Give people buy gift certificates for future appointments. I have those all written down. I have them noted about that too, because I have, the square on my phone. So we're trying to do gift certificates. Each individual girl has their own credit card thing. So usually their clients are trying to get a hold of them to get gift certificates, but they can always go through the salon as well. It's not a big deal. So I would say the biggest thing that I would say to try to keep us afloat right now is to purchase the rest of the retail that we have. And like I said, they could follow me on, it's called New Styles Gala. And then purchase, if they're a client or they want to become a client, they can purchase future gift certificates for when we're allowed to reopen.
Wow. This is just it's absolutely mind boggling. What are I'm sure you keep in contact with your workers who are again self-employed subcontractors, but how are they doing? How are they making ends meet? But
Um, so the one just went on a maternity leave, so she didn't. It was kind of
right?
perfect for her. So she's got.
That's another thing. There's going to be a lot of those in about 9 months. I'll tell
I
you
know
what.
that's what they
Oh,
said. Here comes another baby boomer.
right. Exactly. Hopefully, people are smart and realize you can do that, but you're not going to have money to take care of the child. So you can still go buy your condoms at your Walmart. You'll be all right. Protect yourself.
Right, right. But my two young girls, we just started them out. They just came out of school in October.
Wow.
The one and the one that's a tier above them, she was just with us over just over a year. And they were just starting to get on their feet, and they don't have a second income. They're not married. They have boyfriends, but being 20, 21 years old, it's not really your boyfriend's job to take care of you. You know
Well,
what
yeah,
I mean?
and what could you have established it by the age of 21? I mean, it's not like you're not going to have a major pay cut. You're just getting started with life. Let's face it.
Right, right. And I mean, my girls, fortunately, my girls, they came from, okay, we need to save money, we need to do this, we need to do that. So they had a little bit of pocket change, but I will tell you, it's my young girls that are losing their stuff,
Yeah.
trying to filter. Um,
Well, yeah. Wait, it's not FCC. Say shit. It doesn't matter. Go ahead. You're allowed. It's no big deal.
Because if anybody knows me and they're watching this, me and the F bomb are best friends.
All right. Well, very good. Kids, tune out now. All right.
But yeah, they're definitely going batshit crazy. My young ones. The one lady that she moved from JCPenney's, moved with me. Unfortunately, she had just lost her husband a couple of months ago, so she's quarantined by herself. She's having a little bit of rough time. Um, to be quarantined by yourself right now is not the best thing for your mental capacity.
Right.
So I'm glad that I have my children to kind of keep me busy, especially this homeschooling stuff. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
going to fail or
When you
pass.
messaged me earlier, you said you're homeschooling. I mean, that's got to be. This is the school's out. I mean, there's going to be no school. This every time you sit here, like we're sitting here just having a conversation, kidding, and then it just pops in your head like there's no school. Who knows
Right.
if there's ever going to be school again? Nobody knows. If you ever lived in a time where there's no answers, you have no clue what's going to happen here.
No, we don't. And that's the thing, we just we keep in touch. We have a group text message and we try to keep each other positive. The one girl that works for me, her fiance's cousin just died from the virus. So
Oh,
that
really?
yeah.
Oh,
Um
God.
I didn't quite read the whole thing, but I think he had an underlining issue as well.
Yeah.
Um but it's still the fact that that was home, that was close to
Yeah.
home.
Well, I'll tell
Uh,
you. I mean, where I live, it was we heard that there was the one, and then there's and then where I live now, I live in Alliance, and I think we're up to maybe 30 cases, whatever it was, and I know that one guy did passed away from it. And then there's a guy that I saw on my Facebook who I kind of know. And it's like all my friends were friends with this guy. And I think he's doing okay now. But he put up a post and it did say, "Hey, if I've ever wronged you, I'm sorry."
Right.
And it's like, dude, this is real, man. This is
Right.
this is no joke. Wow.
It hits you.
Wow.
Let me tell you what, the amount of time I so March 18th at 2 o'clock from the governor, we got the word that we had to close.
Right.
So we called everybody from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sarah and Abby, my two girls that work to the left of me, we pounded out 27 clients that day
Boom. Yeah.
between the three of us. We got that whole weekend, got them done, and we worked till 10:30 at night. We waited for each other. My nail tech Shauna, Sarah, Abby, my barber. We all waited for each other. We kind of closed up together. Um, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
You lock the doors for the last time with the unknown. You
It's
don't.
right, exactly. It is. Everything's unknown. Charlie says Charlie's a listener of mine in the Ashtabula area, but he goes, keep you in your prayers. All things will pass. Jeff says, hey, well said. Nobody knows. Now I doubt you're allowed to do this, and you don't have to say or whatever, but you're not allowed into businesses, but I'm not even condoning this, I guess, but are you able to do house calls? I mean,
Um,
and you don't have to. I'm not
we
trying to
can.
incriminate anything. I'm just wondering how that works.
Quote
Because I mean,
unquote,
I'll tell you why. Because you're still delivering pizzas,
right.
which is you're still in contact with that. I went to a place locally the other day, and I think they're going to be on here at some point too with this business spotlight. But picked up wings. They just came out and handed it to you. So I mean, I don't know. You're around each other for a longer period of time, I guess, if you're doing hair or nails or whatnot. But I don't know if you're able to.
What the crazy part is, the biggest, craziest part is there's three of us in November from right before Thanksgiving till the first of the year that had this god awful cough. All of a sudden, we'd start fevering.
That's another
We
thing.
would start getting chills. Everybody thinks, and here comes the conspiracy theory again, but everybody thinks we already had it.
You may have. You're not the first person I've heard say that. I've heard a lot of people say that. My fiance was real sick, and
they had
no
explanation. They said it wasn't
right.
the flu. They tested us for the flu. Antibiotics wasn't kicking it. Like nothing was helping us out. No cough syrup, no anything. But for 6 to 8 weeks, we just felt like dog crap.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we'd be blow drying somebody, and we'd be just drenched in sweat, just drenched.
That's what a lot of people are saying that too. I've heard multiple people say they were real sick a couple of months ago. Maybe and listen, I don't even know that's a conspiracy theory. Okay, I really don't. Listen, nobody's giving us real answers. So right. I think I don't even know that this isn't like, did somebody land on the moon or JFK or the Illuminati or things like that. This is real times that we are living in, and we don't have answers. Yesterday it was caused by bats in China. Right. That's what you heard. You've heard that it was accidentally released from the bioweapons in Wuhan, which, by the way, is where SARS came from, and MERS and all these other places come from, all that same area. So I don't know that these are conspiracy theories. I thought when you blame the Democrats for it as a conspiracy theory, it's like Pelosi made this happen. No, you don't have the power to do that. Again, you're not going to close down the NBA because Pelosi doesn't like Trump. Okay.
Right.
The impeachment didn't work. Watch what we do now. You know what I mean? Right. So at that point, and that was when it first started, it was like, I hope people have opened their eyes now. Put it that way. Because when it first started, I get it. Because we do tend to jump and get worried. It was, we're going to get Ebola. We're going to get, SARS. We're going to get H1N1 and all that other crap and everything else. Well, I think now somebody who's passed away. I know somebody in this area has passed away. I see on Facebook, hey, this person passed away. What's really getting me too? It's famous people. It's like Bill Withers just passed away from it. You had Joe Diffie passed away from it.
Right.
I mean, these are famous. You didn't hear that with any of these other diseases, viruses. You didn't hear that. So it is real now. And I do think that it shouldn't be frowned upon to come up with some sort of a hypothesis as to why this happened. Trust me, I got a million of them. And the fact is, nobody knows, and I don't think anything should be considered too far-fetched with this, because we're living in unprecedented times. This has never happened. So don't sit here and tell me that, well, it's obvious that it was just nature and it created it. Okay? Maybe it did. Maybe it did, but don't damn me if I don't necessarily buy that.
But listen, okay, so when I used to have tanning beds, I opened up April 15th, 2008, and I have tanning beds, and I've been using the same disinfectant on my tanning beds that I still use today on my
Wow.
vinyl, on my leather, on my chairs, anything that's non-porous. I still use it. On the back of that bottle that I've been using for 12 years, it states that it kills the coronavirus.
Wow. Wow.
That's what kills me. I get on the back of these bottles, get on the back of your Clorox wipes. Get on the back of any kind of disinfectant, any kind of Lucasol, any kind of hospital grade. It says that it kills the human coronavirus.
I think there have been different stages. SARS was kind of basically the same thing too,
Right.
respiratory. So I do think there's different types of corona. So I think
Right.
this
It's
is not
crazy
this is
that
just a
none of us,
mutation. This is a different mutation of it. Yeah.
right. It's just crazy that none of us actually noticed the back of our sanitation that we've been using for 12 years. And it says
Right.
coronavirus on the back of it because we've never heard of it. We didn't
Right.
know that SARS was a part of a coronavirus until when this came out.
Right.
That was coronavirus technically one.
Yeah, it was, but I think only I don't know 500 people died from it. It was like
Right.
and now it's just absolutely insane what's going on. Jeff's right in. He goes tonic water and zinc. Here's the thing. I listened to a
That's what
guy.
I was just talking about.
Yeah,
That guy that came up, he said tonic water, zinc, and vitamin D. That's what like one some of the that was like a preventative. Not saying you're not going to get it, but it kind of puts
right.
your body into more of a healthier state to defeat it off better. I think is where they're getting at with that.
I'm going to promote somebody on the radio that I don't normally do, I guess, but I mean he's not anywhere. The guy's been radio for a million years. He's not on locally, but you can get him on Spotify or whatever. He puts on a podcast, but it's his show for 2 hours. That's odd. His name's Michael Savage. I don't know if anybody's ever. He's out of San Francisco, and I have been listening to him religiously. For years, I've been listening to this guy. I'm a fan of his. He's somewhat of a conservative, but he also tells it like it is, And when the coronavirus first hit China, he was all about it. He's an epidemiologist as well. He's a doctor. He's a doctor. He studied this. He studied all of this. He's a book writer. The guy knows his stuff, man. And he's even it's Dr. Michael Savage is his name. And listening to how he started, everything that he has predicted has come true with this. And now he's on these medications like the zinc. He's telling people, don't take it. Zinc.
Oh,
He goes vitamin D. Don't do it. He goes vitamin C. Overload on vitamin C. Even this new thing they're talking about that I guess Trump's been pimping out, this whatever the hell it is, or whatever. He's like, listen, that causes severe side effects. He had an expert doctor on yesterday talking about these. It causes you psychotic episodes.
It causes cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
When you mix the Z pack with that malaria drug, they're finding out that it's defecting the heart. The muscles around the heart, and they're having heart attacks and heart failures, defibrillators put in, things like that. Like, so the mixture of that product might work, and it might bring you out of a ventilation.
Well, what they're saying is in desperate times, like if it's your last ditch effort, then okay. If you're on your deathbed and this is what they got to do, then that's what they'll do for you. But that's the only time. Again, what he's saying, it should be used. And he is a doctor. He had a doctor on yesterday talking about this. So, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really taking much precaution. I mean, I wash my hands, more than I guess I used to, but I'm not really wearing the masks or the gloves because then I'm
not either.
I'm hearing that the masks really only help. Again, this is before a few days ago, I guess, if you have it, and then they say even on surfaces, the odds of you getting it on a surface are real slim to none. And I'm not telling people don't do it. Take as much precaution as you want. I'll be honest with you.
It's a personal.
Right.
At this point, it's what you feel is going to be safer for you. But
Right.
what it comes down to is it basically took this to make people be clean.
See, I have my own theory on that too. I think it's because we've been too clean that our immune systems are down.
Yeah.
That what causes this. Pay attention to people who use. I used to make fun of people who did this constantly with the sanitizing. They were always sick, and I said you're always sick because you're killing your immune system.
Yeah,
it's what you're doing. I'm not sitting there saying don't ever wash.
No.
But your body should be exposed to germs. It makes your immune system stronger. This is common sense, is
That's
what
what
it
I told
is.
everybody, like all my friends, we kind of made a little joke out of it. I said, just go let them swim in Lake Milton for a while and go down
Right,
the river
exactly.
and like inject some of that Lake Milton water that we did when we were little. Or, you always see those memes made up too, So they're
Right.
like, if you've ingested Lake Milton water when you were young, you're immune to the corona
Yeah, you're,
system.
you're set. You're good.
Yeah.
All right. So again, we've got it's Sodagram on with us again. Your business again. Tell people where it is and how they can find you.
Okay, it's New Style Salon. It's in North Jackson. It is east of Lake Milton, south of Lordstown. So we're on right on the corner of 45 and 18, Route 45 and 18, in North Jackson, right at the center. We're a salon, hair, nails, makeup, barbering, kind of a little bit of everything. I've been there 12 years. So I think people are starting to get to the point where, oh, that place has been there forever. We're not even going to look at it. So I
Right.
get like new sign. I was in the point of at this time before this hit, I was going to go down the street and get a new sign made and get some
Yeah.
sandwich boards put up and things like that. But also we have a Facebook page, New Style Salon and Barbering. I have a group that I do live things on, New Styles Gala. We go on there and that's where people can help us on there as well with the buying of the products, the gift certificates, contacting, pickup, drop off, ship outs. I have all my GM clients have been so amazing right now, the ones that I've had to move.
Wow.
I've shipped to Texas, I've shipped to California, I've shipped to Tennessee, I've shipped to South Carolina. They can get their products right down the street, but they're supporting me because they were with me before they moved for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that goes to show you, that you're good at what you do and you've established good relationships with people. And that's why you've been successful. You said you've been in the business for 12 years. So, I
Well,
mean,
actually 18. I've had my
18.
salon for 12, but I've had my
Okay.
life for 18. Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, you got to be worried, I guess. But when eventually this is all lifted, obviously the effect there is going to be, well, are people going to be able to afford to come out and beautify themselves, get these things done?
We are prepared. Half of us, there's a few that are part time. Like I said, the one that just had the baby. One is working at my salon and at her sister's salon, a little whiles away. But a lot of us are prepared to come back working 7 days,
Yeah.
just to accommodate the people that have to come in on Sunday because they're one of the essential workers that are still working if we do get this ban lift. Um, but we're also prepared to sit like we did when we first got out of beauty school.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if we're going to come in making $2,000 in a week or if we're going to come in making 200 a week.
Yeah. The way you're talking, with all the clients you had a day, I mean, this has got to be a couple $100 a day just for you. And I'm not even talking about just the business with all your products, but just pretty much take home a couple $100 a day, I got to assume.
Yeah, I mean, on a good day, I'm not gonna lie. Like if I sit there and I am back to back slammed and no lunch breaks, no anything like that, start at 8:30, I get out of there at 10:30. I'm not gonna lie, we make really good money, more than a
Yeah.
couple $100.
Yeah. Nice.
And that's where it comes into that's where it hurts a lot with not having any income at all. Even on our slow days,
Yeah, I
on
mean,
my slowest day, I could make $250 on my
wow.
slowest day.
Wow.
So that's not take home. That I own the salon, so everybody thinks I make a ton of money. It's the take home
Right.
that
Well, you're the one paying all the bills too, and everything else, obviously. So, yeah.
right. So, but like even on my slowest day, my take home would be like 250. So
Wow.
we don't know what's going to happen when it comes down to this. And like I said, I had two brand new girls that were just building up and just getting started and getting some clients and building them out and assisting me so I could get more clients in and out in a day. And then, we just start getting back on our feet from the lull of the Christmas rush, because
Right.
from the end of October till January 1st, you can't breathe.
Right.
So, I mean, you got all that. And then the beginning of March is when we start picking up again. And that's when we just started getting back into the reign of things. And then we get shut down.
Right. Jeff writes in, and it's funny, but it's not. But he goes, "Imagine how the strippers feel." I mean,
Yeah, they make double the money that we do.
exactly.
Imagine.
But they're doing it. I mean, they're all initiating those premium Snapchats or whatever it is. I mean,
Well,
it's
if you've seen I don't know, it's a meme about it, them Ubering food.
oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Uber yourself. Hey, come to the stage right now. It's Trinity, everybody.
Right.
you know, yeah. You know what it is too. Like I'm sitting here, I feel for you because I can remember the times. I've lost jobs and I've gotten unemployment, but there's those couple days where you realize I didn't make any money today, and it's a panicky feeling. It
Right.
really is. It's like panicky where it's like, all right, I'd be checking my computer every minute to make sure that, all right, did I get approved? What's going on? I'm out looking for jobs. I'm trying to do whatever. And it's got to, I guess probably the only way to put it, to be in your shoes and everybody else's shoes out there, is you're just powerless.
Right. Because they said that there's over 90,000 of us that are hairdressers, barbers, nail techs, estheticians, that are independent contractors that don't take a paycheck, that are in the same boat in the state of Ohio. So
Yeah.
there's close to 100,000 of us with zero income.
Right.
And
I,
I don't know about other businesses, but like in our realm of independent contractors with hairstylists, barbers, nail techs, estheticians, things like that, makeup artists that get zero income right now.
right. Just zero. You have nothing coming in. It is inconceivable. This is literally inconceivable
And
what we're dealing with, and there's millions of people, like you said, across the world that are in the boat you're in right now.
And it's just sick because they give you false hope. They tell you, oh, sign up for unemployment, or hey, we're going to give you this stimulus check, or
that stimulus check's a joke. What's $1,200 going to do for anybody?
I mean, by the time this is all said and done, I hate to say it, but you could wipe your ass with it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Because what's 4 months down the road, $1,200? That's $300 a month.
Right. No, absolutely.
So, I mean, granted, we're all going to take it if they give it to us. But in the meantime, I don't know. I mean, I love my clients. My clients love me. They will definitely be back. But at what point in time? Because some of them are teachers.
Yeah.
They're out. They're done. They're still teaching. They're still trying to do online things. But I don't know if they're actually receiving a paycheck or if they have to do unemployment as well.
It says, I'm 1099, not eligible for unemployment unless the president considers Ohio a disaster. Only 3 states are in disaster states right now: New York, California, and Washington.
Correct.
So there is disaster unemployment. So in that case, well, apparently maybe our governor handled it too good, because then it's, you don't want to say that, but I mean, it's kind of the truth. I'm surprised Michigan isn't on there, because I heard Michigan has quadrupled us right now when it comes to cases.
Yeah, they they're Flint's still trying to get back up from that water thing yet.
Right. Now, this is absolutely unbelievable. It really is. And I just don't know when. I don't see it passing. I just don't. Unless you're not gonna be able to vaccinate everybody. They're saying if you get it, you can get it again. It's not like, a flu where you don't become immune to it. Again, this is what people are saying. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. What the hell do I know?
Right.
It's just things that you're hearing. It's like, at what point are you going to be able to open things back up?
And then at what point do you just give up and say, screw it, and see what happens at this?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like 6 months down the road, you can't, either you martial law and you quarantine every people to 100%, or you say, take your own precautions into your own hands and open back up and do what you got to do.
Well, yeah, what they're worried about there again is the hospital beds and everything else, if that does happen. But I'll tell you what, again, going back to what this Michael Savage said, and I'm just bringing him up because I do listen to him religiously, and I have for a long time. But he, South Korea, I guess, they said handled this really well. They never shut everything down. They quarantined the people who needed to be quarantined, is Correct. What they did. If you had it, they quarantined. If you if you were in the immune deficiency or whatever, then they quarantined those people who were susceptible. But they didn't shut down the country. They didn't shut down everything. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think for the first, matter of fact, I know this, but people were not taking this seriously. They were still. You should see how many people. If you went to the local Giant Eagle right now, how many people at the parking lot? Nobody's nobody's really doing what they're supposed to do. And that's why it's continuing to spread and spread and spread. It's because people are not sitting at home like they're supposed to.
I can't even get a pickup for my grandparents that are 81 and 83. I
Wow.
can't even get a pickup for their groceries. There is no time slots available. Now, granted, like I said, we have one or two stoplights. We're in a small town. So the closest town to go get groceries is Austintown. And there's
Right.
three or four bigger grocery stores out there that does the curbside pickup. I mean, even Warren, even when you go out to Warren, Cortland, Howland, there is no pickups available for
Wow.
groceries
Yeah.
for weeks. Like I go on there and it says like April 16th. I'm like, by then my grandparents are going to starve.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they weren't one of those hoarders.
Right.
They went out and they got what they needed when they needed it. And, little by little, we have the dollar store down the street. So, we'll go down to the dollar store and get bread and eggs and things like that. But like now they want like vegetables and produce and meats. And you can't get that at the dollar store.
Right.
And now that you're trying to get it and you don't want to walk into these places because now everybody's got you scared to death to even blink. And you can't get curbside pickup. Out here, we don't get delivery. It's desolate out here.
Yeah.
We don't get delivery.
Right.
So at what point in time do you say, be one of those people and go in the store?
Well, you know what? Listen, I've gone to the store. The reason I know Giant Eagle's pack is I go into Giant Eagle. But the thing is you don't need your whole family going to Giant Eagle. You don't need you, your wife, your kid, and everybody else rolling in there. You don't need to do that. Right. Or pick the healthiest person. I'll tell you what I'm doing or whatever. I'm the healthiest. All right. I'm the healthiest out of my family out here. I go do it. I'm not worried about getting it. I've never been a smoker. I'm in good health. I'm not worried. I don't have any issues. Now, listen, I could get in it. It could happen or whatever, but I know that I'm less prone. So I'm running around for people,
right. And they look like
so they're not exposed.
Right. And then when you walk into the store, everybody looks at you like you're the damn crazy one.
Well, listen, you look at me, you can tell I'm pretty healthy. I think, I'm doing all right. But again, you see these people like the kids, any moron who's bringing their kids out right now needs your kid taken away because there's no reason for that. Even though, thank God, and this will go back to other conspiracy. I will have a whole conspiracy theory show on this virus one time. But the fact that it's not affecting children is a godsend. It really is, because can you imagine the panic of society if this was affecting kids, which leads me to believe more that this is a man-made virus, but again, whatever. But it doesn't affect kids. Now, riddle me that one. How no children, I believe it's under the age of 19, nobody under the age of 19, maybe one 14-year-old, I'm not sure, but has died from this thing. Now, riddle me that one. When it's the flu, it's the elderly and the children, because children have not been exposed to viruses. So their immune system is not strong enough. How is this not affecting children? And again, thank God for that, because I'm telling you, when this first happened, now that I have a child, and I was, and I'm already petrified, overprotective of him as it is, I was petrified of that. First thing I did, okay, what happened in China with children? And they're like, it doesn't seem to affect kids. I'm like, thank God. Thank God. That's the only thing here that is, again, is a count your blessing situation, because God only knows how that could happen. But the thing is, kids can be carriers. So again, don't expose them. Don't take them out to this. Do what I did. I flew a kite with my kid the other day. Had him out today feeding fish. Just doing whatever, to pass our time.
We took our dog to the Mill Creek Park and we went walking. Yeah. We found like the least populated area, and we took our dog up through the trails and stuff like that. We spent like 4 hours just walking because the kids are getting restless. There's only so much you can do at home. They, and they were done with their homework. So I said, screw it, pack up the car. We're going to Mill Creek Park. And we were there for 4 or 5 hours. And we ate our lunch there, and we walked around, and we skipped rocks and everything like that. And I think we ran into maybe 5 people.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it is good quality time with the family a little bit, and and doing things like that. But it's.
I mean, there's quality time, and then there's sanity time.
Well, exactly. So, how's your alcohol intake? Is that raised up a little bit there?
This is
it's not vodka, but still.
they have that meme that says either you're going to come out a gym rat at home or you're going to come out an alcoholic. I think I'm kind of weighing both of those out pretty good.
Right.
I work out and I have a couple drinks.
There
So
you go. It's a good time to work out. I agree. It's definitely a good time to do that. Get some push-ups in or whatever at the house too if you have the spare time. So if there's any other businesses that you know that want to come on, and of course anybody watching, we've had a lot of people watching this. Um, get a hold of me. Like I said, Shauna was one of the first people that got a hold of me. I just threw it up the other day. I decided to. I was going to do this anyway with podcast wise, and then I was like, man, let's have just a business spotlight.
and I've been following you ever since you started.
Oh,
So
well, thank you. What at Youngstown or Q92?
Q92, Youngstown,
Really?
like the whole nine yards.
Oh,
Like
wow.
as whenever the Mo radio show was on, dude, you were on my radio.
I appreciate it, man. I was at Youngstown years ago, and I was at Rock 104 in Youngstown. So
Yep, and that's where. And then when you switched over to 92.5, I switched over my station, and that became my station forever. And then when that kind of whatever, I was
yeah, that
like,
was an interesting story there.
yeah.
That's
So I'm just
interesting.
gonna kind of whatever that, and that's when I went to Sirius XM,
Oh wow, yeah.
and that's when I started doing satellite radio. But it
Well, where you are
you
now, the area you are now, you get my my morning show on. It's sports primarily, but it's ESPN 970. It's AM 970, and actually, there's a rock station that I do. I voice track nights out there. It's called the Fox, that area as well. So, which is 107.5 the Fox, and then it's ESPN 970 is the
we
sports
probably
station.
would the 107.5. I don't think we get here.
Yeah, but
Um,
the AM. If you want to hear me talk about sports, I mean, it's
listen,
still my sense of
I
humor,
do
obviously,
sports
but
too. I do sports too. I do sports too.
right.
But I've always appreciated like how honest you were. Like you took it. You were kind of like the devil's advocate. What if this? What if that? And you kind of threw out everything, and it always made it interesting to listen to you. So as
Well,
soon as you put
listen,
that up there, I was like, I'm on it.
I
I'm on it.
appreciate that. Thank you. That's what I've always tried to be. Is I've always had my opinion on things. I never purposely played devil's advocate, but I also was open to listening to people's opinions or throwing out, what I would see other people's sides to be. Or I've tried to be fair. I know people would say I'm not fair at times, and there's times that listen, I think you're an idiot. I'm gonna tell you you're an idiot. Was again taking your kids out. You're an idiot. I don't care what you say.
Right.
You know, but with certain things, I'm open to listening to things, and again, just trying to get all sides out there. And we got Chris Kraft, who's a local. Chris Kraft is a local musician who's killed it, and he said he wants to get his hair colored by you. He's looking at your hair. He goes, "She's badass," and then it goes Mo Radio Show, badass as well. I'm a great cuddler. Chris, am I? That's what happens when you don't proofread things. But yeah, Chris has been doing he's been going on live actually and playing acoustic music, which is great. Which is a lot of people are going on DJing, and Chris is awesome at what he does. So he's
I used
actually
to play with
played.
my
He's a,
friend back in the day. We used to go and she would DJ weddings or graduations or anything like that. And I would just kind of be her sidekick. And every once in a while she'd throw me on the mic, but I really don't have like the radio mic voice. So I'd sound like a 19-year-old boy up there trying to talk.
what's funny though is I wanted like I guess I have a good voice. People tell me that, but that's not why I got into radio. I wanted to get into radio since I was like 3 years old. It's what I wanted to do, and I guess somehow I got a decent voice to do it because people always say, "How do you smoke?" Like people, do you smoke? Do you whatever? I'm like, I don't smoke. I just have this voice, I guess, and that's what it is.
Right. Just like ever since I was little, my grandmother had her hairdresser, her hair license. My aunt went and gotten her hair
Wow,
license.
there you go.
So I'm third generation.
Um,
So I've always wanted to do it since I was little. And when I graduated early from high school, so I decided to go to beauty school. So the minute I walked commencement at my high school, 2 months later, I got my beauty license.
right.
So I killed two birds with one stone there. Instead of going to tech school, I actually went to Raphael's out in Niles.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
I know where that is actually. Raphael's out there.
yeah, and they had me come back a couple of times to talk about how I opened up my own salon in 2008, which was like the worst economic besides this right now, but the
Right.
worst economic era that we're ever going to see. I opened up my salon that year. So they have
Wow.
me come in and talk about that and where I've came from and my background. So I've went in there and talked 2 or 3 times to some of the people that were like, well, I want to open up my own business. And I'm like, whoa, hold your horses. Like, think about this for a minute.
Right.
It's not all like it's cracked up to be. You know, I had a couple years under my belt before I opened up my own business, but still, I was only 22, 23 years old. I
Well,
don't
yeah.
for anybody.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you say that. I say that all the time. I'm like, I did a lot of things that were ass backwards,
Yeah.
but I said, and I always kidded around. I said, I always knew what I was doing. And I understood my parents were like, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Of course. And I would say it to my kid, you don't know what the hell you're doing. But for some reason, I always just kind of knew what I was doing, but I wouldn't believe anybody else if they told me that either. You know, it really is the truth. It's like some people are just cut differently, I guess. And everybody uses it as an excuse, but there are some people who truly know what they're doing, you know?
Right.
All right. So listen, again, I want to thank you for coming on with this thing. I think it only stays on for like maybe 10 minutes after this, but I have the ability to download this.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download it, and I'll be in contact with you about either Dropboxing it to you or something along the lines. And I think that, or actually what I was thinking about doing is putting it on YouTube.
Okay.
And I could put it on YouTube, and we could share the YouTube link and then continue to promote it so people could watch it that way as well.
That'd be great. I greatly appreciate this has been
because I want to see more. Listen, I'm trying to help with this. I really am. I understand. I mean, I don't understand what's going on. I don't think anybody really does. But you know, the fact of the matter is, you literally said you could stay afloat until July, and that's it. I mean, you have zero money coming in. And again, people go to Shauna's Facebook page, which again was your Facebook page is what?
I have New Style Salon and Barbering, which is our standard Facebook page that promotes all the girls. And then I have New Styles Gala, which is what I started when we got shut down.
Okay.
So that's kind of like where they can purchase products, gift certificates, get a hold of me, pickups, drop-offs, ship outs. And everybody, then I know who's watching on the gala, because kind of like on the Facebook, you really don't know who's paying attention, who really cares, who don't care. If they just like your page, kind of just go on about it.
Right.
But the New Styles Gala, I find out who's actually really interested. So I try to contact them after I get through, and I see, okay, this one watch, this one watch, this one watch. And most of them, I'm like, okay, this one I definitely know needs some root touch up. So I'm going to get a hold of her, and I got some spray root touch up to try to get her through until I can get her color on. Or I'm like, oh, this one really, really, really needs product, but she couldn't afford it at the time. So if she buys her 4 products now, she gets 40% off.
Okay.
You know, so I know every single person that walks through my door in the 9 people that work for me. I greet everybody. I make sure I say hi. I have a coffee bar. I have magazines. I try to make it more homey. I try to make it so that you can bring your kids in and we can have fun. And we play Pandora all day long. There's 52 stations that are on shuffle all day long. Sometimes you get some rap, sometimes you get country, sometimes you get rock, sometimes you get Hailstorm, you get Shinedown, and then it goes to Tupac and Biggie, and then it goes to
sounds like my iPod.
Yes.
it's what it says. I'll go from Garth Brooks to NWA to Marilyn Manson to Aerosmith like it's nothing, and I'll just jam to them all. So I agree 100%.
And that's kind of
Absolutely
what our salon does, you know. So it's like, if you don't like the music, wait 3.5 minutes, it'll change. And
you'll be fine.
We try to do it so that we get everybody in all the surrounding areas, and the young people, the older people. You know, just because we're a young salon does not mean we don't know how to do older people hair. I can still roller set like a mother. Like I can still do perms. Like I still do all that stuff too. At the same time, I still do this stuff too. You know, so
I gotta say, I like that. I think that's awesome, and I kind of want to do that with my hair. I think that's just fantastic. That's good stuff. What you got going on? I like the purple.
I can put you like purple to green to blue, or I can do all kinds of stuff.
I'm digging that, man. Something that just changes in the light, like those cars that now they change colors.
Yep.
No, that looks kick ass, man. I dig it. That's awesome. Like I said, Chris, he wrote in. He says, "Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. Good stuff. No doubt.
I'll do his hair. I'll color him.
Love it. Love it." All right, well, listen, Shauna, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I'll be in contact with you, and this is another thing. If I'll send you this, you could probably put it on even on your website as well. There's no copyright with this. I'm not copywriting. Like I said, I'm not charging people for any of this. You know, it's just I'm trying to help people out. But once I download it, I'll get a hold of you, figure out where I can send it, because it'll be a big file. And then I'm going to end up. I have a Mo Radio Show channel on YouTube that there's actually some cool stuff on there, but nobody really ever checks it out because I don't promote it enough. But my interview with like President Obama's on there. When Chad Kroger from Nickelback rolled in the studio and whatever, I have him on there and whatever. So there's some cool stuff on there. I don't utilize it like I should. So I'm going to start utilizing it with this, and I can throw these on YouTube as well. So again, I want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Feel free to continue to share this, and you and I will be in contact so we can just get more people to see this. And anybody else watching, local business wise or whatever, the Mo Radio Show at gmail.com is my email. The Mo Radio Show. You can see it. It's written right there. The Mo Radio Show at gmail.com. Shoot me an email, and I'll do as many of these as possible to promote your business. So, all right, Shauna, listen, I appreciate it. Obviously, I appreciate you listening all those years that you did, and we'll be in contact. But good luck with everything. I mean that. It's unprecedented times. That's all you can say. And it's really screwing a lot of people over.
Yes, and I thank you for bringing me on and answering my comment when I commented on there. So it's great.
Absolutely. All right, Shauna, good luck, and I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
All
right. There you go. All right, I'm out. Again, the Mo Radio Show, gmail.com. If you want to shoot me an email, I know I have a few other people already booked to come on. I was supposed to have a realtor on today, but he couldn't make it. So I know him, and there's a few other people that I already am in contact with that want to come on. But if you're watching this and you're interested, and you know somebody who would be interested in this, let's promote, man. Let's share this stuff. Let's promote. And there's a lot of people who listen, they need our help. And this is something that is beyond everybody's control. It really is. Appreciate you guys watching. I know you guys, a lot of people watching. Charlie and Jeff and Chris and a bunch of other people are watching as well. All right. I feel like Romper Room. I see Charlie and Jeff and Chris and Sean. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Again, the Mo Radio Show at gmail.com.